Hi everybody, welcome to this After Hours. Today I would like to talk about coming to terms with the word no. So I've always struggled with the word no, whether about hearing it or saying it. And I thought recently that maybe it was time to change my perspective on the word and to change my mindset about the word no. So traditionally, it's not a word, no is not a word that people like to hear, and we are sort of taught that directly or indirectly it's negative, that it's just about rejection, or it's quite prohibitive, and that nice people don't say no. And I feel this is so damaging because I've read a couple of different books that were not about the word no, but where the topic came up. And hi guys, nice to see you here. And basically that made me realize a few things. So let's get going. So first, about hearing the word no. So recently I finished the book Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. It's essentially a negotiation book. It's got a bit of psychology in it as well, since negotiation has some levels of psychology. Very interesting book, by the way. I really recommend it. And there was a part in the book where Chris Voss talks about hearing no and says that no is not failure, and a lot of the time it's not even rejection. And I thought that was very powerful, because as a self-employed person who has to contact potential clients, it can be very hard to hear no, or to be told that they are not interested, or now is not the right time, that kind of thing. But exactly what I was just saying, like, no can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So we shouldn't assume necessarily that when we hear no, that it means like no deal, like this is the end of the talks. So for example, Chris Voss in his book says that no can mean a lot of different things. Sorry. So sometimes it can mean simply like wait. Sometimes just be like you're making me feel uncomfortable, or things like I don't think I can afford this, or I need more information before I make a decision, or I'd like to talk about this with somebody else. What else can it mean? Or simply like I'm not ready to agree just yet. And for that reason, Voss in his book says that it's why it's important, at least in a negotiation, to try to get to know as quickly as possible. And because no gives people a sense of security, makes them feel secure, safe, in control, whereas if you try to push a yes, a lot of the time, it's like we've all had that experience of somebody really salesy, really trying to get us to say yes, and what it does is just makes us more defensive. So Voss says, basically try to get to know as quickly as possible, and then because it means different things to different people and in different situations, try to understand, ask questions to understand why the no. So not saying it like that, like why no, but like what could be, how could we make it work, or what could we change so that it would work for you, or that kind of stuff. Let me see my notes. And so in that case, it's not necessarily a bad thing to hear no either, because sometimes it's best that something doesn't, it's better than, best that something doesn't go ahead rather than having a bad fit, a bad deal. And then let's go back, like rewind a little bit and go back to the hearing, to saying no, sorry, because that's also, I have been struggling with hearing no, but I've also been struggling with saying no, which is so funny, but probably linked in some ways. So in that case, something else that I read, and since it's a quote, I'm just going to read it from my notes, is that it's not your job to make sure others don't experience disappointment. And I thought that was quite powerful as well, because I'm a people pleaser, or I tend to be. I'm trying to stop doing that, because at the end of the day, if I'm trying to please other people without taking into account myself, it just sort of like defeats the purpose. So, well, that's what I think anyways. So yeah, like in that other book that I read, it's basically that saying no is not being mean, it's not unkind, and it's not selfish. And in fact, saying no is just an expression of yourself as an individual, of what you want or don't want in this case, and what you cannot do. And it's useful so that other people know what your boundaries are, and how far they can go and everything. And again, sometimes I say no because, just like I was saying earlier, when with other reasons why we might hear no, sometimes I say no because it's just like, this is a lot of information and I need to process, and it's like time out kind of thing. So there's so much. In that book there was also an exercise where the author was asking us to the reader to write our ideas associated with yes and our ideas associated with no. And I'd like to read you a few of the things that I put for no, because I thought it was quite interesting. So the very first thing that I wrote down for the word no was negative, door closed. And then I have disappointment, disappointed, hard, lonely, guilt, feeling guilty, fear, panic, anxiety, heartbreak. That's quite interesting, heartbreak. And there's a bunch of other things. I probably felt like 30 to 40 different meanings that I was attaching to the word no. And later in the book, the author actually makes the reader say different things, or say no with different tones and different pitch, and to make us realize that it's really just a word, and it's neither good nor bad. It's just a word, and then there's a lot of like a really big palette of meanings and things that can be attached to it. So when we say no way, we can say no way. It's like that's not happening, but we can also say something like no way, and in this case that's quite different, right? So yeah, no, that made me realize that no is just a word, and as I was saying, it's neither good nor bad. So in a way, I should learn to about hearing no, sometimes take a punch, but not take it personally, and trying to dig when it's possible, trying to dig and trying to find the reasons why I might be hearing no, because maybe it's nothing bad, nothing to do with me, and a lot of the time it's very much to do with the other person. So trying to understand the reasons behind that can be helpful. And in terms of saying no, once again, realizing that it's not being unkind or selfish makes me want to listen to myself a bit more, and that doesn't mean that I won't be doing things for other people. It just means that when something doesn't align with my values, or doesn't align with my personality, or doesn't align with whatever, no is always there, and it's not a bad thing, and I shouldn't feel guilty about it. So here we are. This after hours is mostly like thoughts about like changing my perception of the word no, and my findings so far. I wonder what what you think about this. Do you struggle with the word no? Are you fine with it? And if you're fine, how do you perceive it? What does it mean to you? And yeah, let me know in the comments. That would be great to start a conversation about that in the comments. Well, I think that's it. So I will say thank you very much for joining me this evening or today, depending on where you are in the world. I always appreciate those sessions with you. And yeah, if you want to hear more like inspiration or motivation or a little bit of joy between work emails, I encourage you to sign up to my newsletter. The link is in my bio. And also something that would really help is if you like this video, if you could give me a like and follow me if you're not already following me, because then that helps me find more people like you and like spread my thoughts and the message generally, and some of this might help somebody else, who knows. So yeah, thank you very much. Have a lovely evening or lovely day depending on where you are in the world, and I will see you next Monday, which I think is the last Monday of April, in which case we are going to be doing a Q&A. So same, if you have any questions, watch out in my stories. I'm going to pop a question box sometime this week, probably another one tonight, but yes, during the week I'm going to put like a question box so you can ask your questions for next Monday, 6 p.m. British time, or you can join live, and I'd be happy to answer your questions live. All right, in the meantime, take care and see you soon. Bye bye.